Hey, what's up guys, it's Jake here, and FIFA 20 early access is just 1 week away and the hype has really started with the FUT database being live as well. And in this video I'm going to be showing you guys some potentially underrated players, especially from Liga Nos. Liga Nos is one of the great nations to go for at the start of the Ultimate Team. The Premier Leagues, the Serie A's, the La Ligas, the Bundesligas and the Liga are all going to be expensive because there's so much attention to them. So it's always really important to stay away from those leagues, and the Liga Nos, the Eredivisie, the Turkish leagues always have some really good hidden gems you can always go for. So in this video I'm going to be showing you players that I've handpicked myself, and you can let your opinions down in the comments below, and you can also use these players once you get your hands on FIFA 20. So if you do like this video, don't forget to drop a like and subscribe for plenty more content just like this, and let's get on with the video. So on the background you can see I put together a squad of Liga Nos players. These are the 11 players I think that are going to be good in the Liga Nos, and I've also got a bench full of players who you can upgrade, or if some of the players like Danilo Pereira are expensive, you can swap them out for a couple of players on the bench. And I've also got some of the high-end options here like Pepe, Grimaldo and Pizzi, who you can replace once you get a couple of thousands of coins flowing in your team. As the goalkeeper for Liga Nos, there's really like limited option, and the only guy I think fits the bill, it's Monos from Benfica. He's 80 rated, so he might be a little expensive at the start, but he will definitely drop down in price when the full game comes out. So if you're using him in early access, he might be a little expensive at the start, so you might want to note that. He's got some good stats, 84 diving, 86 reflexes, and he's got 83 reactions. So reactions is a really important stat for a goalkeeper, and he's got 83 for 80 rated card. That is amazing. But he's got 76 positioning and 73 handling and 67 kicking, are really average. But we all know that basic game style for a goalkeeper is really important because it gives plus 10 to his every stat, and with plus 10 he looks to be an incredible goalkeeper. 94 diving, 83 handling, 77 kicking, 96 reflexes and 86 positioning is really good. So I think he will be a really good goalkeeper. The fact that he's 6'2" tall as well is going to be a decent option. So moving into the fullbacks, once again there's not really much option to go for in the Liga Nos, especially if in the lower leagues. There's not going to be pretty much options. There's going to be pretty much 1 or 2 players you can choose from. You got 2 right backs here, and you can choose from either of them depending on your preference. So the first one is Saravia, who plays for Argentina, who plays for FC Porto. 78 rated right back. He's got really nice stats. When you look at those pace, he's got 90 pace, and his physicality is really amazing. He's got 92 stamina for a right back. He's got high work rate, so his stamina is not going to be concerning you. He's got 90 stamina, so he's high, so he's going to be pushing up and down the pitch often, so which is nice for a fullback. And when you look at his defensive stats are pretty much average. So does his passing stats, especially when you look at his crossing is 73. So you definitely want to boost a bit of a crossing. For a right back, defensive stats and crossing is really important. So when you look at the chem styles, you can go with any number of chem styles. Even basic chem styles gives him a decent boost. He's an 80 rated wing back and a 79 rated right back. With the basic chem style. And if you want to really boost it, I would either suggest you to go with Powerhouse, which gives him a lot of defensive stats, which is vital, and improve his passing stats as well vitally. Or you could go with Backbone, which improves his crossing massively, and 83 crossing and defensive stats are really in the low 80s. You're looking at a really good player, and you'll definitely be a very cheap option. So moving into another similar player, we got Ristowski from Sporting Portugal, and once again he's very similar to the previous guy we just saw. They got really similar stats. Once again, the pace is really good. When you take it without the chem styles, he looks to be a decent card. I would prefer him over Saravia, but it's just personal preference really. And this time he got medium work rates on him, so he's got a little bit less stamina. So with medium work rates, 83 stamina, I think it's not going to be an issue, but you never know until the full game comes out. Even with basic M style, he gets a decent boost, and to fully utilize him, we'll put him backbone on him to give him that 85 crossing, which is really essential for a fullback. And he has some really nice defensive stats, and along with some good physicality, he's going to be a really good card as well. So these are the 2 right backs. And for left back spot, I really found one guy is 75 weighted, so I'm not sure he's going to be good or not. Personally, I would use Saravia at right back and put Ristovski on the left back spot. You know, he can handle it because he's got the 3-star weak foot, so it's not going to be a big issue. But if you want to go with Boja, it looks to be really cheap. He's got decent pace, 88 acceleration and 85 sprint speed, as you can see, decent stamina, and once again he's got bad crossing, so you want to put something like a backbone on him to get his crossing up a bit and to improve his defensive stats once again as well. And the medium work rate, so 85 stamina wouldn't be an issue, and he also looks like a really good card. So moving into centre backs now, we got a couple of centre backs, and the first one is Ruben Diaz from Benfica. He's got an 80 rated card. A little bit lacking in pace. 65 pace is not that bad, but for centre back you really prefer something like 70 pace to deal with players like Martial, Rashford and stuff. But if you're not going to be coming up against those players at the start of the game. So I think Ruben Diaz, apart from the pace, he has a really solid card. His defensive and physicality is just amazing. And when you put something like a Sentinel on him, the Sentinel chem style is going to be really cheap. He goes up to be an 87 rated centre back with some incredible stats. You look at those defensive stats, man, it's all 90s, and its pace is going to be the only issue in my opinion. But if you don't really consider pace as a drawback, his card is going to be really amazing. And he's got medium-high work rates as well, so it's not going to be an issue. And he's got 4-star weak foot. 4-star weak foot for a centre back is really nice. And it's got decent passing as well, so I don't think you need to touch on the passing. You improve his defensive and physicality, and it's going to be a beast. So next centre back is going to be Jeremy Mathieu from Sporting, 81 rated centre back with the French link. With the French link, he might be a little bit expensive, I'm not sure about that, but once again it's going to be like 1,500 coins, so you don't need to worry about that pretty much. He's got a decent card and stuff. He's got really good defensive, well-rounded stats. He's got good physicality. He's got decent, better pace. 70 pace is always nice to have on a centre back. 6'2" is a bit tall, but his work rates are a real issue here. He's got high attacking work rates and medium defensive work rates. In the previous years I've used Matthew. It's not bit much of a problem, but it could be a little bit problem. But once again, at the start of the game, it's going to be absolutely fine. No doubts in that. And I think once again, you put something like a Sentinel on him, it goes up to be an 89 rated centre back. Look at those stats, man. Those are incredible stats with the chem style boost. And once again, he's going to be another incredible player. So that's why I went with the 2 partnership in the defensive backs. So moving into the midfield now, and the first guy you have to go for is Danilo Pereira to solidify the midfield. He's an incredible centre defensive mid, and even last year, even in the early access, he was going around for less than 2,000 coins, and for 2,000 coins you're getting an incredible beast. And once again, I've given him a Sentinel because he has already got good short passing and the long passing. You don't have to use backbone, but Sentinel gives him a ridiculous boost. His physicality is just immaculate, 99 strength, and his defensive stats are really good. His pace might be another issue, but you don't want to put an anchor card on someone like him. It's just a waste of money. Not going to use him for pretty much over 2 weeks, so that's why I went with him. He's got to be in this squad. He's such a good player, but if he's expensive, I've also got some pretty good options. And the first player is going to be Gabriel, who I think he has a really underrated card. People look at his pace like 63 and just get turned off, But apart from that pace, he has some incredible stats. Of course, he has 5-star weak foot. 5-star weak foot for any midfielder is absolutely incredible. And when you look at his stats, he's got some well-rounded stats all across the board. In terms of work rates, he's got medium attacking work rates and high defensive work rates, so he's going to be deep line playmaker type of role, and he's got the stats to do that. I would personally put him on like something like a Maestro, give him something like ridiculous passing stats and stuff, and he's got fantastic shot power and long shots, so you are going to be banging some long shots from the center of the midfield. And once again, a really decent card. I wouldn't touch his defending because he doesn't have the physicality to be a defensive DM kind of player, but he has got ridiculous stats to be a great centre mid, and as you can see, he can be an 85 red centre mid with those stats. And if he is a bit expensive because he's a Brazilian, so Brazilians are always preferred for the hybrid squad builders, so they might be a little bit expensive compared to the other players. We have got another player we have got is Bataglia, an Argentinian who plays for Sporting, and he's 6'2" tall as well, 4-star weak foot, decent for a midfielder, and once again he's got medium high work rates as you can see here, and he has got some really good defensive minded stats. I'll put him on a backbone to give him some ridiculous stats, and as you can see he goes up to be an 85 rated center defensive mid, and once again with the lack of pace, being a defensive minded midfielder, you can get away with that a little bit. So I think he is going to be a dirt cheap card at the start of the game in my opinion, so another good option. And if you can't afford non-res, you can go for res really. You've got Wendell, once again the Brazilian, with the Brazilian nationality, he might be a little bit expensive, but being a non-rare, he's going to be getting pulled out of the back really often, so he might be dirt cheap as well. The one thing I really like about his card, he is so well balanced. He's got 70 plus face stats all across the board with really incredible pace, you know. He's got ridiculous pace, he's got really decent stamina. 80 stamina for a center mid is a little bit okay, you know. Personally want something like an 85 to last the full game, but 80 stamina should do just fine. He's got high attacking work rates and medium defensive work rates, so he's going to be more of a box to box or creative midfielder. And once again, he's got 85 shot power and 83 long shots, so those are going to be incredible. Personally, for someone like him, I would just leave him on balance, not touch the chem stars, because it's going to give him a lot of boost across the pitch and it's going to make him an incredible player. So if Wendell is expensive because of the nationality, we've got Getson Fernandes, who is a Portuguese from the Portuguese league, so it's not going to be anything special. Once again, without the boost as well, he's got some ridiculous pace on him, and these two cards are really similar neck and neck. So once again, I give him a basic, and he's got pretty much the same stats. He's got high work rates compared to the high medium of Wendell, and once again he's got 80 stamina, so you should be able to get through the match pretty fine, and it's definitely going to be a very cheap option. And if you can't afford that, you also got Eduardo Henrique, who plays for Sporting. Once again, a pretty similar card, a little bit lacking in pace, but he's got pretty much a really good physicality and much better defensive stats. You can also even put a Sentinel on him, which to really boost his defensive stats. But for pretty much non-rare players, I would stick them on basic and just get it over with. And pretty much another decent option in the midfield spot. So the final midfielder I've got is Idrissa Doumbia from Sporting as well. He's got a fantastic stats. If you can't afford Danilo Pereira at the start of the game, you should definitely go with Doumbia. He's got 69 pace, better than Pereira, but he's got ridiculous strength and physicality as well. He's got 86 physicality as a base card, and his defensive stats are not good, but with the game style, if you put a powers on it, he goes up to like incredible rated center defensive mid with some really good passing stats as well. And a card like this is gonna be like 600-700 coins at the start of the game, so it really doesn't make sense. He's a fantastic card in my opinion. So moving into the white midfielders or the wingers, you could say. The first player I've got is Corona. The reason I've gone with Corona is 5-star skills and 5-star weak foot. He might be expensive at the start, you never know, but once again, even being expensive is going to be like 2,000 coins at the start, so he really presents a decent option. He has got really decent pace, really good dribbling. His 74 stamina is a little bit not desirable. His shooting and passing needs to be worked on, so that's why I've given him a Deadeye, and with Deadeye he gets some ridiculous stats in shooting and passing as well. As you can see on the position maps, he goes to be an 86 rated left wing, right wing, anywhere you can play him on the forward pitch. You can even also play him as a cam. He becomes 86 rated, and those are some really good stats. Once again, he might be a tad bit expensive, so that's why I went with Rafinha. He's got ridiculous pace to start with, 90 acceleration and 89 sprint speed, and once again with the Deadeye chem style boost, he gets some ridiculous stats as well. So once again, really good player, and this time he's got 82 stamina compared to Corona, so he's going to be much more viable to last the full 90 minutes. And he's got 4-star skills and 3-star weak foot, so a little bit trading off with the skills and weak foot. And once again, he's going to be so cheap. Once again, the Brazilian link might come into a bit, but once again, you're looking like 1,000-1,500 coins at the start of the game. shouldn't be a problem. And moving into the left mid spot, we got a Rafa, pretty much the only option that is viable on the left hand side of the attacking front. He's got ridiculous pace to start with, and his dribbling stats are once again amazing. 79 stamina, so it shouldn't be a big issue. But once again, with the dead eye, he gets some ridiculous stats in shooting and passing. These are some really good stats for start of the game, and dead eye is one of the important stats for your wingers and your attackers. So let's move on into the strikers. And for strikers, I've got really two options, but I have three players in the shortlist here. And the first one is going to be Marega. It's going to be my first choice. There are a couple of weaknesses in his squad. In his card, he's got really ridiculous pace and those physicality, man. Oh my god, 92 stamina on a striker is just unheard of. 90 strength, 89 aggression are fantastic. His dribbling is a little bit wobbly, so he's gonna be feeling a little bit too heavy on the ball. His acceleration might not feel really high, but once again, I think he's going to be a fantastic player because look at his shooting stats. He only got 79 as a base card, but he has got 84 shot power, 84 positioning, and 80 finishing. So with those stats, he's going to be banging goals left, right, and center. And once again, he looks to be a perfect beast of a card, and it's pretty much the only option that looks really good. In terms of skills and weak foot, only 3-star and 3-star. He's 6'1", so he's going to be tall, he's going to be strong, he's going to be fast. So pretty much, you know, he really ticks all the boxes. He's got high, medium work rates, perfect for a striker. And the next player we got is Suarez, pretty much a similar player, but in terms of physicality and pace, a little bit less. But in terms of shooting, he's pretty much consistent as well. He's got really better dribbling compared to Marega. So if you want a striker who is more good on the ball, I think you would go for Suarez. And the weak side of him is he's got high work rates. So he's going to be dropping back quite a bit, which is why my primary striker is going to be Marega. But you can also do work with Suarez. Once again, 3-star skills and 3-star weak foot to deal with. And in terms, they are really expensive. I think Abubakar had a really good card last year. I think he got 5-star skills, but this year he's got 4-star skills and 3-star weak foot. Once again, he's got really decent dribbling stats. His pace and physicality are not that up to the level of the previous two, but his shooting is pretty much consistent with the other two. So those are the three options I've gone with to choose from. That's my choice of players in the Liga Nos. I pretty much covered all the players that are really good and usable for a couple of weeks in Ultimate Team. If I missed any of them, don't forget to drop it down in the comments below. And what do you think about Liga Nos being your squad as well? Don't forget to drop it down in the comment below. And if you did enjoy this video, don't forget to drop a like. It helps me out massively. And I'll catch you in another league with another set of players in another video soon.